Hey Kevin, your head falling off?
Oh boy, it does that a lot lately. Got an email the other day, gentleman wanting to talk about flux core. Why would I get flux core instead of like solid core? Flux core, and of course there's several different types of flux core. There's non-shielded, shielded, dual shielded, gasless. What I've got here in the machine is just a gasless flux core. So it's basically like using a stick welder, and instead of having those little sticks you have to change every now and again when you burn one out. No, you got I think it's like a 5-pound spool in there, so you can weld from now until next Sunday and not run out. But just like with stick welding, with the flux that's on those rods, you've got the same mess here. You're going to have flux on your weld that you have to chip off, clean off. You're going to have a lot of spatter that you have to take care of later on. And I thought, let me just show you that. So I've got flux core in the machine right now. I've got a piece of 1/8" cold roll plate sitting here, and I just want to run one bead with the flux core, and I'm going to put up a little shield so 1/2 of the metal stays clean. I'll weld on the other side, and then I'm going to change the machine over, and I'm going to go back to solid core, and I'm going to come back with the same settings on the same piece of metal, put my shield back up, weld on the other side, and no cleanup whatsoever, but just show you the difference between the two welds and what they look like. Okay, so I got my Everlast Power MTS 251 SI running over here, and I'm set at 20 volts and 400 inches on the wire feed, running 035 wire against 1/8" steel plate. Okay, so I've changed my machine back over. I've put the solid core wire in it. This is 030, didn't have any 035, sorry, but turned my mixed gas on. All the settings on the machine are still the same. Let me run one more bead here, and you guys are going to be amazed when you see the difference. So here's the flux core, and this is the solid core. Just the amount of spatter that came off the flux core is just amazing. But just look at the difference in the weld itself. You know, the flux core is kind of jaggedy. You know, it's not a very smooth looking weld. The solid core, very smooth looking, very uniform. Much less cleanup to have to do after. So less time with your grinder, less damage to your base metal where you're grinding on it. You know, it just makes so much more sense to me, you know, for what I do, solid core. I hope that gives you a little bit more to think about when it's time to go down and buy more wire. You know, it's nice to have both of them around, but for me, very specific uses for the flux core. Outside, working on the fence, you know, something like that. For anything I do in here, for any of my artwork that I'm creating, solid core or TIG. So thank you for watching. Thank you for writing in with a question. Always love to get questions from you guys. I'm going to go back to work. You're going to reach over there and click on an ad or two and click on that subscribe button for me, and I'll see you next week. This week's blooper brought to you by Marcel Marceau.